Quebec Premier Francois Legault is promising his government will support the nearly 2,000 workers affected by Amazon closing all 7 of its warehouses in the province, laying off all of its 1,700 staff members.
Amazon is a private company, so why do they do that? How do they do that? The answer must be asked to Amazon.
Well, one of the warehouses that will close is where about 300 workers created the first Canadian union at Amazon just last spring. And for a closer look at this story this morning, we're joined from Montreal by Barry Eidlin, Associate Professor of Sociology at McGill University. Good morning.
Good morning. Great to be back, Anne-Marie.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh characterized this as union busting. And in fact, the union that represents, the workers at the warehouse in Laval say they believe Amazon's exit is linked to the workers organizing. Amazon was asked, denies that, saying this decision is about cost. How do you see it?
I think it's a question of control, not costs. Amazon is a $2 trillion company. It can easily afford the better wages, working conditions that the workers are fighting for. It's that they would rather incur the cost of shutting down their Quebec infrastructure that they've spent a lot of considerable money over the past 5 years building up. They basically would prefer torching that and rather than sitting down and negotiating with their workers. And what they're going back to is the reason that they've built up this infrastructure over the past 5 years is precisely because they want to increase their volume, have Quebec customers purchasing more from them. So they are presumably moving to a system that's going to cost them lost sales as well. And they would rather do that than actually allow workers at Amazon to have a direct say through collective bargaining over their working conditions.
So Amazon says their delivery is now going to be handled by third-party companies. The industry minister was asked about this. He said he spoke to the head of Amazon Canada and said, this isn't how we do business in this country. Amazon didn't care. In 2020, that's how Amazon used to deliver packages in Quebec, was through a third-party delivery service. Why do they want to outsource delivery rather than work this out with the province? 7 warehouses is a big number.
Absolutely. No, I mean, this is really the thing to understand is that this is, I mean, we don't have access to Amazon's internal numbers, but as I said before, the reason that they moved away from that subcontractor model is because they wanted to have more control over their supply chain. They wanted to have delivery stations closer to their customers that would allow the quicker delivery so that you could get same-day delivery and that kind of thing. Yeah. And that's why they set that up. And that's more generally the move that they have been making across their North American operations. So what is it about the Quebec market that is somehow so different from every other market that they serve in North America that all of a sudden that new model that they've been moving to across their supply chain no longer applies, and they're going to move back to the one that they had 5 years ago?
So we're not clear yet on how this will affect Quebec consumers. We can just look pre-2020 and know that it will take a little bit longer. But are you saying then that Amazon would rather pay more to a third-party service than to work within an Amazon warehouse that has unionized workers?
Amazon would rather maintain sole sovereign control over all aspects of its work without any input from other parties, be they workers, community members, governments, what have you. They want to maintain control above all else, and they attach a very high premium to that control that some might say borders on economic irrationality. So that's the key thing to understand. And Amazon's not alone in this, right? Employers in general tend to attach a very high premium to maintaining control of their workplaces. Amazon just might take it to a somewhat different level.
What precedent does this set then?
Well, it sends a clear message that Amazon, it is in keeping with Amazon's message that they will not tolerate any violation of their sovereignty over their business. And it sort of entrenches their attempt to establish a more of a sort of race to the bottom model for employment, where you basically take what you get and you don't get upset,
Yeah.
and you certainly don't engage in a negotiation process with this company.
Well, what we ended up with is 1,700 people who are going to be out of work. Barry Eidlin, Associate Professor of Sociology at McGill. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good to be here. Thank you.
If you liked that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.